What's up everybody, welcome back. So in the last episode we turned our inventory system into components, and in this episode we're going to do some cleaning up so we can easily migrate it into other projects. So if you like the project, please consider leaving a like, and if you want to get your hands on the project file, you can become a YouTube member or a Patreon, and then you'll get access to premium channels in the Discord, and those will also give you access to some downloads. So with all of that stuff out of the way, let's start cleaning up this project. So what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of the actors we don't need, like the third-person game instance, the third-person game mode, the third-person controller, the character, all of that stuff that's already inside of a project that we're going to migrate it into probably. We're going to get rid of that stuff. So let's start with the level. So we're going to go to project settings and then go to maps and modes. Over here we need to get rid of some references. So first the game mode, let's set it back to the game mode base. Then for the levels we can simply clear the references, so there's nothing left in here. And for the game instance all the way down, we need to make sure that we set it back to the default game instance. So with that done, let's close the project settings, and now we can start deleting some folders. So we're going to grab the third person folder, the starter content and the level prototyping, and delete those. And we need to make sure that we actually do not have the level open. So we're going to go to File, New Level, and create an empty level. And now we should be able to delete those folders. So let's try again. Select all three of them, delete. And now we should be good to go. So there's no actual asset references left. So let's force delete all of this stuff. Now there will probably be a few errors about some sounds. So here we are. For some reason it doesn't want to delete those. So we're going to delete them manually inside of the Windows Explorer later. So let's just ignore this stuff and click OK. And we are actually going over 100% here, so that's pretty special. But it's deleting stuff, so that's good. There we go. So the folders are empty, but the actual folders are still in here. So as I mentioned, we're going to delete those in the Windows Explorer later. So the next thing we want to do is get rid of some actors inside of the inventory folder. So let's go to inventory, and we want to grab our third person controller, the third person game mode and the third person game instance, and simply delete those. So they are gone. And the next thing we want to do is get rid of our third person character. And before we can do that, we need to go inside of the widgets folder to the in-game HUD. So in here we're actually using the third person character, so let's go to the graph. Inside the debug item counter function we have the last branch over here with the get all actors of class. So it references our third person character, so we're going to remove the reference. And now if we try to compile it, it's going to throw some errors. So we want to disconnect these pins over here. And then if we hover over the array element, you will see it's still a third person character reference. So we also want to disconnect it over here and get rid of this getter for the inventory component character, because that's also referencing our third person character. So delete that one, compile and save it. And now if we go back to our inventory folder, we should be able to delete the character. So let's delete it. There's no asset references, so we're good to go. And after we did that, we can also get rid of the characters folder. So let's select characters and also delete that folder. And this takes a little bit longer, so I'm going to pause it. And we're back. So there's no asset references in here as well, so we can get rid of this stuff. And now we have most things done. So one last thing I'm going to do is go to the inventory folders textures over here. So this contains all of the HUD icons. So I'm going to move these over to the StackoBot folder because they kind of belong to those assets and not really to the inventory. So you can decide for yourself if you want to do that as well. Doesn't really matter. So now let's save everything. And we want to go to the Explorer. So let's right click somewhere and go to Show in Explorer. Then you probably want to close down the Unreal project, and we're going to go to the content folder inside of the project folder, so we can get rid of the folders it didn't want to delete for us. So let's select third person character, starter content and level prototyping, and we're simply going to shift delete those manually. Those are gone as well, so now we should be pretty much good to go. Let's reopen the project. There we go, and now we have a nicely cleaned up project with no assets in here that we don't need, so we can migrate it into any other project we want without too many hassle. So a shorter episode this time. I hope you enjoyed the video. In the next episode we're going to migrate it into an existing project. Thanks for watching everybody, talk to you later, bye bye.